is super hot. It's super hot today. Oh my goodness, it's super hot. I'm trying to get my van ready because I'm about to hit the road and I got so much work to do. It's not even funny. Man, it's hot. So I guess this is as good a time as any to say hello, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I am getting ready for some adventures. I have some cool things coming up and the van has got to get ready. And I'm changing a lot of things up in the van because, well, I'm going to go on some shorter trips. And with that comes a lot of different planning. You know, throughout the time of my channel, I've gone on a lot of adventures and I've gone to a lot of cool places. And I think a lot of people have the misconception that in order to do van life, you have to do full-time van life. However, whenever I first started out, what I would do is I would make sure that I worked for a little while, made some money, and I'd see how far that could launch me into some travels. And then I'd travel in my small tent. And I think along the way, because I've been able to travel more and more and more, and I no longer have to just worry about, oh, work, and then go on a very short trip, I've expanded my travels to several months at a time. However, I've got some things that I need to handle here at my base camp, which I've kind of talked about here on the channel. And in doing so, it means I have to be here a little bit more than I normally am during the summer. So we're going to be taking care of some things along the way, but I don't want to miss out on summer travels. I just don't. So I thought I'll do the most travel that I possibly can while also accommodating to all of those things that I need to take care of. And so I'm going to do these short trips to cool places and do some really fun stuff. And I'm going to load up the van to do that. In addition, I joined Harvest Host. So we'll talk about that on an upcoming video and I'll tell you a little bit more about why I did it and some of the unique things that I want to do with it. And along the way, I just hope that my travels encourage you guys to see that you don't have to be full-time to have a really impactful life. Not only that though, I'm going to start doing something pretty cool in these videos where I tell you on the day in the life videos a little bit more about the expenses for each and every day that I have that I share the day in the life videos. So you'll see some little things popping up telling you, bidding, hey, today I spent $5 on gas. Bidding, hey, I spent $12 on groceries. Bidding, today I went to a free attraction. And then I'll give you a summary of that at the end of the day to tell you how much I spent on these individual days. And you can see very quickly that you don't have to spend the most to get the most adventure. With that said, time to clean out the van. And boy, oh boy, is it a mess. You might recall that I brought my dad home with all of his van. And in doing so, all of my van shifted in the van to different places. And this is the result. It's not because I like to have everything in here like this. It's just this was a necessity to get from point A to point B. And in the meantime, it's just this. Not great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually be taking most of this inside, sorting through it, see what I actually need for the road, what I don't need for the road, changing out some of my items that I took with me because it was winter, bringing in some things because it is now hot and summertime, and I'm going to get everything ready to go. And then in a couple days, we're heading out. You're probably thinking, where are we going? What are we doing? What do we got going on? What is coming up? A lot of cool stuff. And I cannot wait to share it with you. And I have just been so excited. We got the van handled. As you can see, Dad has a new shuttle he's working on. I'm going to be sharing some updates on that very soon. There's some cool stuff that's going to be going in there, including some really neat things that I am very excited about. And I'm even a little bit more jealous of the shuttle than I was the van, just because it's just, when you go in there, it's like window palooza and you can see all the views, every single place that you go. And it's really cool. But that's not for today's video. That's not a today thing. That's a later on thing. So what are we doing? Well, I'm going to take myself up to finish up a video that I was actually planning on shooting in Arkansas. And along the way, I found a really cool place that I want to stay in Arkansas. And then along the way, I also found a really cool thing that I want to do in Missouri. And somebody gave me a suggestion because they knew that I'd been in Missouri and they were like, oh, did you see this? And I hadn't, so I'm going to go back and do that. And on this trip, I'm going to see how many things I can do in the span of just a very short amount of time, and how many of those that I think you guys would be interested in. So all of those things are coming up, but along the way, I'm going to show you my newest cooking device, which you've probably seen me introduce here on the channel already, but if you have not, go check it out. I got a new air fryer, and I got it specifically because, again, I joined Harvest Host. I know that sounds really weird to say I got an air fryer because I joined Harvest Host, but again, I'll explain all of it later. It'll all make sense once we go into those details. But for now, I am hot. I am going to get this done as quickly as possible. I'll share some pieces along the way of the journey and you can kind of see what's going on. And yeah, we're just going to take a comical, lighthearted approach to travel going forward and have some fun with it because I feel like there's way too many serious people in the world today who are all freaking out and having a moment with themselves and taking things way too seriously. And in all reality, travel should be fun. We can get some brain wrinkles, we can go on hikes, we can go camping in cool places, and guess what? We can share it here on the channel. That's what we're gonna do. Delia says, I'm going to be taking the Jackery with me, and I need to figure out if I can charge it via my solar panel. So this is the first thing I'm gonna worry about, and then I'll actually empty the van. So right now I'm going to see if I can use the fittings that I have in order to get this to charge, or if I'm gonna need to order a cord. I'm really hoping I don't have to order a cord just to charge because I like this power station a lot, but I need it to accommodate to my up top solar panel. This guy right here, this guy, yeah, I usually charge my all power up there, but I'd like to charge my Jackery up there too. I noticed on my Jackery video, whenever I first introduced you guys to it, it did not come with a DC charger. And I wanted to order one, but they didn't have them available to order singularly. So I am waiting on that. And it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's a brand new power station, so I'm not mad about it. But I do want to go ahead and find a way that I will be charging it. And if that means I'm going to be through charging it, that's fine. But I need to figure that out ahead of time so I can start getting the idea in my mind as to what I'm going to lay out and where. So what that means for now is I need to unhook these and hook in this because it has an adapter that I think will work on the Jackery, but I need to test it. So there's some little places that I can unhook this with. And my fingers gotta be strong. My fingers gotta be strong. Okay, it's all taken care of, and now I'll plug these in, and if this works out, cool, that would be great. If not, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. This is set up. There is a male and a female end on both of these, so you just hook it in accordingly, and it should snap into place, in theory. There we go, okay. This is where having cords is crazy, guys. It just gets a little nuts, but if I can make this work, I would be so happy. And this one is in, so now I just take this end right here and plug it into the power station. This is the part that I'm not sure if it's gonna work. This is an adapter and it's not a Jackery official adapter, so I don't know. But it works for some of my other things, so I'm hoping that this will work. Oh, crossing my fingers, this will work. So into the side it goes, and it fits, but I don't know if it charges. Charging, is she charging? I'm not really parked in the sun, so I don't know that it would charge. I should have parked in the sun. Maybe I'll move over to the sun. It's really hot. I didn't want to be in the sun, but I might need to be in the sun. Oh, the harshness of the sun. The harshness of the sun. No, it is not charging. Okay, I'm going to try the other adapter. I have two of these. I mean, just in case. I think they're both the same, but you know, it's worth a shot. I really wish it would have come with the DC charger. I really wish I would have thought of that beforehand. I didn't think of it. And I was just getting it in so close to the travel date that I just didn't put two and two together, that might be a problem for myself. Also no. So yeah, that's just a different kind of barrel port. Go from power station to power station, the ports are different, and this barrel port is a different size. The same size, but it's different, just ever so slightly. So I don't know that I have another adapter. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and plug back in the other cords that go to the all power, and then make sure that I'm actually getting sun, because I should have done that first, but I didn't. This is the craziness of trying to get things done kind of on the fly before you hit the road. I've been on the road for 7 years, off and on, 7 years. And every time it's like I get ready to go out and I change things, and then whenever I change them, it's like we're starting new all over again. Okay, yeah, it's working. So I need a different adapter is the thing. So that's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go get my regular plug real quick, and I'm gonna make sure that I can charge the Jackery through the all power and just do some 3 charging. The first of many tasks. This is just one thing. It'll be okay. Oh, into the house. Feels so much better in here. If only I didn't have to go back out there and work on the van. Maybe I'll wait until it's a little bit later to actually do the hard part. For the time being, industrial cord has now been plugged in. Jackery is all going. And I can tell by the fact that the all power is cycling on that it is working. Wow. Okay. So what exactly does that mean? Well, that means that it's pulling too much for it once it gets down to like 9% to keep going, because there wasn't enough on the all power to charge the Jackery. So if it gets low, it's not going to charge. Okay, good to note. It pulls way too much for the all power when it's low. These are all things that we need to know. These are all the math that we do in order to get our power station from point A to point B. Man, am I gonna not be able to take the Jackery until I get that stinking cord? Okay, since that is the case, I am going to go ahead and sit down, cool off, and hang out for a minute. And then after it cools off a little bit, I'm gonna work on the van. So I need to figure out when that cord is going to arrive. If it's gonna arrive sometime within the next few days, after I would normally have left, I'll just wait it out and then I'll get the cord. That would make it a lot easier. That way I don't have to worry about things. I also kind of want to take this and just see how long I can make it go until it has to be charged. So I'm going to do that as well. But I always like to have that backup of, hey, I can charge it while I'm driving, especially if I'm wanting to do different stuff. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to be taking an air fryer with me, which is going to pull a lot of power. I'm going to be taking my refrigerator. I'm going to be charging all my cameras, my laptop, stuff like that. So I always carry at least a couple battery banks with me. And I was planning on taking that all power only if I needed it through charging. But with that said, I do like that power station too, so I'm fine with that. Those two I think will complement each other super well. And so I think I'm just gonna check the shipping. Okay, according to this, it may be here. I'm not sure. It's going through FedEx, and so because it's going through FedEx, I just have to kind of wait until FedEx updates. And I've noticed that as of late, FedEx and UPS have been going through it, and I think part of that is because of all the storms across the United States. So there is hope. And also, I could technically delay my trip by a couple days if I need to. So I think what I'm going to do is see if they give me an update anytime soon about the next step of this, and if they do, then that'll kind of point me in the right direction. So for now, it's out of my control. I'm just going to leave my all power out there charging up with the solar. Of course, I'll bring it in if it's not fully charged and charge it before I hit the road. But for now, instead of freaking out or trying to figure this out and trying to wedge a square peg into a round hole, what I'm going to do instead is just kind of cool off a little bit because it is blisteringly hot. I'm going to leave the van parked out in the sun, which initially I was going to park it in the shade and let it cool off, but I'm going to go ahead and let it charge that all power until the sun starts to kind of go down a little bit where it's not optimum, and then I'll move it over. I'll let it cool off, and then I'll bring some of the stuff in and start sorting through. And I have a few days to do this apparently, because I'm gonna hope that that cord comes in. You know, there's a lot of moving components to every part of travel, and from your power stations to your refrigerator to the just getting your clothes together, there's always something. And I'm fine with that, and I like to roll with it. And because my van was in such disarray, it's fine. If anything, this will give me a little bit of a chance to just kind of take a deep breath and not stress out. I think I do this to myself, guys. I really do think I do this to myself. At the end of the day, I know that I'm going to be fine once I get in the van. I just have to put everything back in the van. And I think originally I was going to do way more projects to the van before these shorter trips, but I kind of talked myself out of it simply because of the weather and the heat. And so before fall, I may work on those projects. And I'm not even going to share spoilers about those. I'm going to wait until I fully get an idea as to what those are. Because they're good. They're really good. And I think they'll solve a lot of my problems that I'm having in way of organization and storage. I'm currently putting Velcro on these patches that I picked up. I had some Velcro strips, and so I'm just getting these all ready, and then I'm going to put these out in the van. And so that's another project complete. Some of the projects that I do for my van aren't necessarily huge projects. They're just little things like these that make it where I can look up and see all of the cool places that I've been. And I really like this. This has been something that has helped me to collect something, but also not have just a bunch of junk in my van. I know a lot of people like to do t-shirts or postcards, and I've done postcards before, and then I collected them and put them in a little travel book, which was really neat. But this has been the thing that I can keep with me and have out where I can see it all the time. And it just brings me joy because as I'm having those harder days on the road, I can look up and say, oh wow, I've been and done all of these cool things. And before I decided to make this choice for myself to be on the road as much as I am, I would have seen none of these places. Okay, now that I got them all finished, it's time for me to put them in here, and I'll just put them in as easy as I can. And after that, then I'll move on to the next task here in the van. One of the things I think I am gonna have to change in my van is I had to get a new phone. And when I had to get the new phone, now I don't think my monster mount is going to work for that. So I may have to get a new bracket for my phone, because normally I set my phone where I can have it for hands-free. But the problem is with the new phone case, I can't use the existing bracket. It just doesn't work. So Oh, I gotta figure that part out before hitting the road. Definitely. This bracket has worked out so well for me for so long, but with this current case, it's just not working out, and that is so unfortunate. I need to fix this because this was my little thermometer, but the bracket on it actually snapped, and so now it just falls. So those are two things I need to focus my attention on. I'll probably just have to purchase a new one of these, which is fine. And I guess while I'm at the store, I'll look for a new one of these. I have to change things out occasionally, and that's fine. It is what it is. So I'm in a pretty good place right now, I think, where I can get all these things accomplished. We'll see though, we'll see. Okay, I have this fan charging, and then I'm going to use this with my Road Pro fans, and that way I can have lots of airflow in the van. Just before I head out, I always charge all of my batteries. And all of this just came inside so I can reorganize it. Some of it's not going to be going back in the van. Some of it is brand new. And some of it needs to just be gone through. So I have some new things, like some new laundry items in here. I have some old laundry items. I have a lot of different things for my safety kit that I need to update. And then I have just some other things that just need to be like rolled and stuff. So this is going to be the last part of getting the van ready. I need to do some laundry. And so after I do that, I'll be all ready to go. It's not that bad. Normally, I don't have to take everything out of the van and put it all back in. And on this time home, it wasn't one of those things where I needed to do that, but I did need to make some accommodations for the new air fryer, and then also for just a couple of small things that I do need to have with me for this particular journey because of what I'm going to be doing. That'll all come along as I show you where I'm going. But overall, it looks like a lot more than it really is. A lot of this stuff goes and lives up on the roof. I need to repack my solar panels and things like that. I took them out so I could kind of assess them. I'm cleaning them, and then I'm going to put the new Jackery panel up there. I need to put my chair back up there. And other than that, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I restocked my mountain house already, and you know, it's just the little things. Going out to the van itself, it's a lot more chaotic looking than it actually is, but it's all coming together. So I have some shoes. My little lap desk is back here for the front because I haven't organized the front section yet. I have a couple of hot hands that need to be going away, a letter that I left in the van that I need to take in. And then I picked up this. This right here is something I'm very excited about. It was from the gardening section. And whenever I do need to just like lean into the van, I can put this down and it'll save my knees from the ridges of the interior of the van, which is really going to be handy. People have been asking about the curtain, and so far so good. It seems to be working out. However, I'm going to wait to give a full review of these little things until after the hottest months of the year, just to make sure that the adhesive doesn't fail. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased right now, but again, there's a lot left to do, and so I'm going to be getting to that, and then I'll give you a little update on the next video. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. It's overcast, but at the same time, it's hurting my eyes, so I'm going to go and grab some sunglasses and keep on working. Till next time, guys. Bye.